All right, we are back on the Andre Duke Show with Carter Smith. How is everybody doing this evening? Just checking it out. Sorry for the late start. We got after it 20 minutes late, but that is with anything that happens. As they say, they all can't be winners. So there is that. Really bizarre. The internet's acting funny. So there is that. Appreciate everybody who is joining us and that. Just trying to get this going. Gonna retweet the link. So, but yeah, how is everybody doing on this fine what is it, Wednesday? I get my days mixed up. But this fine Wednesday, hold on one second. There's that. Get that one done. But yeah, we're just out here chilling today. The NCAA committee has, or the sub, or the whatever they are, the I think it's the football committee or whatever. I'll have to pull it up to get it what they're completely called. But also the phone lines are open. Oh yeah, a lot of people reacted on the Oklahoma drip. Appreciate you, Boomer, as well. So there is that. Appreciate the follow. But also we got the phone lines open. If you want to call, you can call in. The number's on the ticker at below. The phone number is 260-255-4069. We're just kind of out here chilling today. Appreciate everybody out there, but the phone lines are open if you want to call. Also, TikTok, the link in the bio to the YouTube. The link to the bio for YouTube, it's in the bio. The link is, if I could completely enunciate. But there is that. But the phone lines are open. We'll be open for a little bit tonight. Probably going to do about an hour here this evening. Appreciate everybody tuning in. So getting all the pleasantries out the way. Here we go. Deshaun Foster. See this. This is no shock. When it comes to the new day and age of college football, when the big brains at the universities want to fire said coaches, you have this. Now, UCLA, their recruiting class has absolutely turned into a dumpster fire. So I challenge the people at UCLA, how are you going to fix this? You lose 7 recruits in 24 hours and you're trying to build a winning culture. That does not cut it. I think I kind of knew that this was going to happen as soon as they had fired Deshaun Foster. I knew when they announced it on Monday, yeah, you're going to have Monday or Tuesday, you're going to have a ton of kids decommit, obviously. So that's some of the things that the coaches are fighting in this uphill battle. I don't necessarily blame Deshaun Foster for it not working at UCLA. I really don't. I mean, that roster was not very good. Pretty much as soon as Chip Kelly left, he had a partial roster to begin with. Let's be fair. And then they get Nico to come in, but I didn't think Nico was going to be the be-all, end-all savior for the UCLA program. You also got to remember you have to block. You have to be able to play special teams. You have to be able to catch the ball. Certain aspects of this that kind of come down to it. So there is that. Some people may not like what I have to say on the Deshaun Foster's side of it. Personally, I really don't care, but that's just what it is. If you go look at his roster, I bet you can't name me for the past 2 years UCLA's, not even being a fan, UCLA's wide receivers. You can't do it because you know why? You didn't watch UCLA. They have no support. So you give a coach no support, no funding, no NIL, and say go out there and compete. Well, no wonder they're getting blown out by New Mexico. It's all about resources. And also, UCLA, welcome to the Big Ten. It's going to be a long year for you. And you're going to try to do a regime change in the middle of joining a new conference. Why do you think USC stayed put, whether they're happy or not? That's just, that's, people on TikTok here are asking, UCLA still plays football? I know, right? But also, here's another one, prime example. Dabo says, I'm 55, I'll go somewhere else and win. I ain't going to the beach. Yeah, Dabo is totally right in this. The people at Clemson want him. It's more of Dabo pushing back against his beat writers. No stadium, more beautiful, but no home field college football experience, the worst in the Big Ten so far off campus. Yeah, Eamon makes a point there. UCLA plays at the Rose Bowl. Says, I know him personally. Dabo? Well, that's cool. I think Dabo's a good dude. If you're talking about Dabo Sweeney, I don't know Dabo, but I think Dabo's cool. Some other things that has popped up. Okay, the NCAA eliminates the spring transfer portal window. I'm reading from, he is a good dude. He's stubborn as hell, though. He grew up with my brother. Well, that's cool, man. That's good stuff. I think, people could say whatever they want about Dabo. I think he won 2 national championships against Nick Saban at the peak of Saban powers. I don't think it gets any bigger than that. Could you move? I want to see the bracket. Well, if you want to see the bracket that bad, you can go find it. I didn't put it. It's via Andy Staples. It's Andy Staples' bracket. I just need a background, my friend. Oklahoma going to get beat by Tennessee, but should be a good game. I don't know. Yeah, but that was before NIL. He didn't adapt. I think as long as Clemson raises enough money, I think they'll be okay. But anyway, also the phone lines are open. We got some folks out there watching via YouTube. If you want to call, get your call in 260-255-4069 if you want to call. But the NCAA has modified the transfer portal. Basically, it closes. Can you imagine Dabo's Southern personality at UCLA? That would be a hot mess. I'd grab popcorn. Yeah, that would be rough. About to find out if Oklahoma's any good on this. Yeah, although I do think Auburn wins that game. I think Hugh Freeze has got a Hugh Freeze special in him. I know people hate to hear that. But I'm trying to get to the brass tacks on this. So I can get it done. Why does it say that every time? It says your device is overheating. Huh. That's interesting. I find that very fascinating. But anyway, it says college football is officially moving to a single offseason transfer portal window announced Wednesday. Division I Administrative Committee voted to approve a legislative change that will eliminate the spring transfer window, but did not sign off on establishing January 2nd through the 11th as the loan portal window for FBS and FCS portal players. So FBS head coaches advocated for a January window. The AFCA convention in January, both oversight committees voted in support to changing it, blah, 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 blah. So basically, I appreciate everybody watching on TikTok. But basically, long story short, they're going to have 10 days basically to finalize rosters. Now, for people that have been portal rich the last couple of years, it hasn't been so much been Florida State, but it's more been Ohio State. That's why Ryan Day was totally opposed against this, because if you're coaching in the playoffs and you're going to try to recruit out of the portal, that makes it a very interesting endeavor, to say the least, in my opinion. I think that it comes down to, what does Day value on this? I think that Ohio State is not a big fan of it, but we'll see. I think that look, you have to adapt. That's just pretty much what it is. We'll get here. What else do we have? Before we go to matchups. National championship odds. Ohio State still leads the way. Georgia number 2. Penn State, Texas, Oregon, LSU, Alabama, Miami, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma rounding out like the top 10 for championship odds. I want to say that I do not think that people are going to be hard pressed by if there's, I don't know. I think the Notre Dame people are not happy because they are not in there. But as I look at that, I'm not shocked by the top 4. But I still don't know how Texas and Oregon would have the same amount. Their odds would be the same. To me, I just don't get that. But I get it. I'm not an odds maker. So there's that. Thoughts on Auburn versus Oklahoma? I think it's going to be a really good game. The thing that would worry me is I don't know if Oklahoma can run Mateer 15, 16 times a game without him getting hurt. But those are the championship odds. I know I have some other stuff I need to get to. The Josh Pate poll. This really, his power ratings really had some people up in arms, because you see, he's got 0-2 Notre Dame in front of Oklahoma. That is very fascinating. I didn't watch the video on the reason behind it, but I'm sure there's a good reason on why he has all of these teams ranked where they are. But pretty interesting top 20 for Pate, but I get it. They're ratings, not rankings. I know a lot of people have a major issue with that, but can't get over it. So yeah, that's pretty much what that is. OU 41-16 over Auburn. We'll see. We'll have to see how that shakes out. Diego Pavia, I guess, is looking to get a 7th year of eligibility. Don't understand how that's possible, but I guess Diego's going for it. I don't know who you got, GA or Alabama. I think I got to wait until that game gets closer, to be honest. That's definitely going to have to wait until that game gets closer, to be honest. But Diego Pavia looking for a 7th year of eligibility. He's been in the news. The whole Theo Von thing with his mom, I just really bizarre, to be honest. I think anyway. I think it's a very bizarre endeavor, but who am I to judge? Me personally, I would not be partaking in that. That's just me. So there is that. James Madison has speed limit signs hanging outside the locker room, as this was posted by DraftKings. JMU's player entrance has a speed limit sign that gets a signature for hitting that speed in the game. 23 miles an hour is yet to be touched. Big day coming for somebody. That's cool. I think that's a really nice touch. That I think JMU, from where they were to where they are, I think they are just a night and day program, to be honest. So there is that to be said. The championship bracket coming up right here. Oklahoma 8, Texas A&M 9. I can't wait until we get into bracket season for college football. Just very bizarre saying that. Florida State 7, Georgia Tech 10, University of Georgia versus Texas Tech, and then Tulane versus Oregon. The top 4 seeds to get buys will be Ohio State, Miami, Penn State, and LSU. So essentially, they're saying Miami's going to win the ACC, LSU is going to win the SEC, Ohio State winning the Big Ten. I think it's very fascinating. I mean, we're going to find out everything we need to know about Utah this weekend. So there is that. We're going to find out everything we need to know about Utah because they take on Texas Tech this evening. So there is that. Nothing too major there. I think that the first 4 out are Auburn, Illinois, Iowa State, and Utah. Ugh. Yeah, rough one. So there is that. I guess we could take this time at the moment. A little pause for a break. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Sorry for the late start. Just trying to get that going. Appreciate everybody. We have quite a few people in here. If you could do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, we've got the games going on this weekend. We'll have Oklahoma, Auburn, and then we'll have Florida, Miami. And then if everything goes well, we will be having a call-in show that night as well. But also, right now, the phone lines are open. The number to call is 260-255-4069. That is the number to call. But that is that. Virginia Tech, Norfolk State, Michael Vick's comments about the Virginia Tech job being open, which you knew this was coming. I am not shocked by it. I knew this was coming. When he took the Norfolk State job, I had some conversations with people, and I said, they're really not going to fire Prey the first chance they get to try to hire Vic. And they're like, I don't know. I mean, they were kind of like, that's kind of ironic now that looking at revisionist history, but there's that. But Michael Vick's statement is, my primary focus right now is Norfolk State. That's all we can focus on. We got Scarlet Heart this week. That's the most important thing in our lives right now. AKA, I might be talking to him. I might not. but I'm not going to acknowledge it publicly because the folks at Norfolk State would be absolutely pissed. I guarantee the people at Norfolk State would be pissed because they take an opportunity. It's kind of going to be like it'll be like the Dion thing. When Dion left Jackson State, like people were highly emotional about it. And it's like he literally was not getting paid hardly anything. I mean, you want to do work for free? That's not fun. But Colorado is back in the news. They are playing the quarterback carousel. I guess Salter is going to be their number one quarterback again. That's what ESPN.com is telling us. Let me see if they have a gist on this. I don't really know. I guess Dion said something about it at media availability. Here it is. Colorado will turn back to Caden Salter as its starting quarterback this week as Wyoming. A source confirmed to ESPN. Who knows who that is? Probably somebody close to the program. Salter started the first two games, and then they switched to Ryan Schaub for the 36-20 loss to Houston on Friday. Ryan was 19 of 35 for 204 with the touchdown and 2 interceptions. Couldn't get much going in the second half. Colorado falls to 1-2. Managed just 6 second half points. So there is that. Salter, I don't know. I don't think Dion knows. It is very interesting to say the least on how this whole thing is coming together out there. It's just whatever. I guess that's what it is. And then last night, after we went off air, if Colorado doesn't win more than 3 games, whoopity doo, young thug voice. Yikes. Yeah, I guess. I'm not seeing because I'm watching the altercation right now between LSU and Florida. Florida's associate head coach suspended 3 games by the SEC for his role in a scuffle before the LSU-Florida game. Pretty much the gist of it is Florida associate head coach, running backs coach Jabbar Jukli was suspended for 3 games in his involvement in an altercation before the Gators game at LSU. Saturday, the SEC and Florida jointly announced Tuesday, which it was Tuesday night before I seen it because Dellinger and a couple other people had reposted it immediately as it was made for that. I think that they were trying to keep it out of the mainstream news cycle, out of the 7 o'clock ESPN and the other shows. But they suspended him for his conduct during the game, or conduct during the pregame altercation reflects behavior that is unacceptable, not aligned with the standards of the Southeastern Conference, the SEC. Commissioner Greg Sankey said in a news release, coaches are expected to be leaders and to de-escalate tense situations, and that did not happen in this circumstance. This suspension is appropriate. For any other misconduct by Jabbar will result in more severe disciplinary action. AKA, Greg Sankey just said, okay, this is what's going to happen here. Jukli will miss Florida's next 3 games at Miami, at home against Texas and Texas A&M. a native of New Orleans, released the following statement. This is coach's statement. I don't know what it was. I'm assuming he was over there. From the video, it kind of looked like he was being a little bit of a shitbird himself. So, Billy, once again, has another mess he's got to clean up. First, I would like to apologize to both Florida and LSU universities, their teams, their staff, and the fans. I sincerely apologize to the young student athlete and his family on Saturday. I reacted in a manner that I'm not proud of. There's no excuse for my behavior, and I take full responsibility for my actions in the game. Emotional situations occur, and bad reactions happen. I regret my reaction and commit to using this moment to strengthen my emotional intelligence. If I could speak, intelligence. Basically, I know more is, I guess it goes on to say this. I guess this is more part of his statement. I know more is expected of us as coaches. I commit to living up to that expectation. I believe in growth. Growth is in ownership and learning from the good and the bad. I intend to use this situation as a teachable moment, not only for myself, but for those who I impacted. Again, I offer my sincerest apologies to both institutions and staffs and families involved. Now, ESPN goes on to write, this is very interesting to say the least. I mean, so ESPN goes on at the bottom. It says the video showed players getting into multiple scuffles during the pregame warmups at Tiger Stadium, but the running backs coach Jukel direct involvement wasn't clear from the SEC's news release, but 2 penalties were assessed before the game. LSU went on to win 20-10, dropping Florida to 1-2. Jukel has coached the Gators running back since 2022, so he's been with Billy for a long time. He's a native of Louisiana. I'm just trying to get this summarized and get this packaged up and out the door as quick as possible. But Coach Jokel's actions prior to the game against LSU do not line up with the standard of our program, Napier said in a statement. Coach is a man of character and has taken full responsibility for his actions. I believe Coach will learn from this experience and will be better for it. Florida Athletic Director Scott Strickland also released a statement Tuesday evening. Jabbar has consistently been an upstanding member of our staff, and I commend him for accepting responsibility in the situation. Strickland said, I will continue to support him as he works to meet the high standards we set for our program. Well, 2 things that I take out of that whole situation is the University of Florida is going to back. They are going. I think the head coach of the Florida Gators next year is going to be Billy Napier. Hot take, going out on a limb on that one. But here's the deal on that. So basically, Strickland releases a statement. I mean, obviously, that they probably did not know until after the game. It doesn't really. I think the SEC is punishing him because I think he might have been an instigator in this. This goes back to people. I hate to say it, but Florida LSU is a rivalry game. Those schools are under 300 miles apart. The fans, it is rowdy, especially with LSU. It's just deep South. They've been playing each other for so long. But I'm not excusing the actions. As a coach, you do have to hold yourself to a higher standard. As being an adult and leading young men, you have to hold yourself to a higher standard. I don't care what anybody says. That's just kind of what it is. So with that being said, Billy Napier basically says, Napier's statement, the actions do not reflect of what we have with the program. And Strickland comes out and supports him. So, I mean, he's been with them since day one at Florida, and he's an associate head coach. I think that he used poor judgment, and he's got to move on from it. That's what it is. I mean, people can sit and dwell on this is another thing that has happened at Florida, blah, 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 blah. Do I think it's the be all end all? Do I think he probably got his ass chewed and he's probably on a 1-point contract and is, when it comes to that, if he don't do the right thing and if he so much as his farts in the wind, they are going to can him? Probably. Because they didn't fine him unless he's going to get fined by the university. There was nothing over that. Also, I'm trying to look and see if there's anything else other than for 2 days in a row, Arch Manning's comments about him being better are pinned live on ESPN. I find that very interesting. But also, looking at it from a objective, but also the phone lines are open. If you want to call, go ahead and call now. We could talk about the Florida situation. We could talk Oklahoma, Auburn. We can pretty much talk about anything you want. Phone lines are open. The number to call is 260-255-4069 if you want to call. So go ahead and get your call in now if you want. But that is that. We will hop to the Chris Ash. What happens when FSU smacks UM in 3 weeks? Nothing, because I still think they both go to the playoffs. One's going to play for the conference title and the other one's not, most likely, or they'll meet again and both get in the playoffs. That's probably what's going to happen. Nah, UM will fold. Nah, I don't know. We'll see. It's very interesting, but I think they both go to the playoffs. So there's that. Love your QB. Yeah, Mateer's pretty good. He's not mine, but he's Oklahoma's quarterback. He plays quarterback at Oklahoma. But anyway, to the Chris Ash side of it, points per game. Notre Dame ranks 105. They rank opponent yards per game. They rank 88th. Pass yards 113th. Sacks percentage, they're 123rd. And opponents' pass yards per game, or average pass yards per game. Tim, Ohio State back-to-back. We'll have to see. I need to see a little bit more. It's going to depend on the playoff draw, to be honest. And they have an 8.8 in havoc rate. But Notre Dame's defense, get ready for Auburn fans to meet why we got rid of Jackson Arnold. I don't know. That's going to be an interesting game. But, yeah, there's other stats on the Notre Dame side of it. The defense has been porous. It's not been very good. I think that I'm trying to pull up the team stats for Notre Dame, just so to get a clearer picture of it. Technically, Notre Dame isn't in a conference, but yeah, I mean, it goes as followed. Their points per game, 34. They're giving up 413 yards, and they have 1 sack on the year. That's just not good. Also, I have to take a look at Zach Smith's breakdown from Minnesota Sports. I'll be interested to see that. I guess CJ Carr was tipping run pass the entire night. If his feet were together, it was run. If they were split or staggered, it was a pass. So I don't know where that's going to fall. And I guess I'm going to have to see him break it down and show it on the film. But I I cannot believe that if that is true. And also on the offensive side of the ball, the Notre Dame has how many coaches up in the box? 10 to 15 coaches up in the box. I I don't get that. It's very very bizarre to say the least that none of them could figure that out or even look to it to see if it is an issue. That is also the other thing that I'm looking at. Are you an OU fan? I don't hate the University of Oklahoma. I don't really hate anybody, but I do have a ton of Jordan team gear from various schools. Like I got a bunch of Florida gear, um, got some LSU gear. But the other thing is that if you get on, this is a bet one of the best kept secrets. If you get on any like Jordan stuff, like I do, like windbreakers, jackets, shirts, get on Fanatics, and they have all kinds of Jordan apparel on discount, and it's legit Jordan stuff. So that's why I have one of these boomers. Yo, what up? What up? What up? So yeah, there's that. I think that for the most part, and the Earnhardt hat. Oh yeah, I have an account with an account with Fanatics. Yeah, I'm telling you, you can get all kinds of stuff for on the cheap that's name brand things at Fanatics. So there is that. But yeah, the Notre Dame side of it, I'm gonna have to see what Zach has on the breakdown. We'll have to see. But I'm just curious on a lot of it, because if that is the case, if A&M had that, do you happen to have an affiliate link you could drop? No, I don't. Let's talk about Tennessee. What do you want to talk about when it comes to Tennessee? I think that I've gotten my Bulldog stuff and Buffalo Bill stuff and Jimmy Johnson race jacket all from there. Oh yeah, Fanatics is good. What do you want to talk about when it comes to Tennessee? Also, the phone lines are open. If you want to call, you can call now. Yeah, I know what that is. But you can call. Georgia Tennessee was a great game. Yeah, it was. Also, the phone lines are open. If you hit the link in the bio for all you watching on TikTok, you can. Are you selling stuff or talking sports? I am talking sports. That is what I'm doing. But if you want to call now. The number is 260-255-4069. That is the number to call. But we will leave the phone lines open for a bit longer. There is that. What do we have over here? But that is, Dogs 9-0 against Tennessee. Yeah, that is a tough stat. Right now, I wanted to see who has given up the least amount of Oklahoma right now statistically has the best defense in the SEC. Statistically right now after 3 weeks. So appreciate everybody. But yeah, there is Mississippi State up there as well. But when it comes to overall points, Florida has gave up 38 points, Vanderbilt with 30, LSU 27. Oklahoma has not let a team. I wonder if it would give me. passing. Florida has gave up 2 passing touchdowns. Let's go to rushing. Florida has given up 0 rushing touchdowns all year. They're the only team. Them and Auburn are the only other team. But any given Saturday, yeah, we'll have to see. But the only other team that has not given up a touchdown on the ground is the Auburn Tigers. So there is that to be said. So Tennessee's gave up 7 touchdowns on the ground. That's very interesting, to say the least. Just looking at that. But yeah. So, but the phone lines are open. We'll leave them open for a bit longer. If you want to call, get your call in. Like I said, the number is 260-255-4069. If you want to call, go ahead and call. Also, if you could do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. That helps us grow the platform as well. Also, for the folks on TikTok, what do you think happens what do you think happens to Indiana when they beat Illinois? Well, they're going to be ranked. That's what's going to happen. Indiana will probably they'll probably get more respect than what they are in the polls, but I can't necessarily guarantee that. We'll have to see. Appreciate the gift there, my guy. But we'll have to see how this whole thing shakes out. It's still early in the polls. Got to jet, set up my live. Good vibes, man. Yep, you have a good one, man. Appreciate everybody over there on TikTok. Also, if you're watching on TikTok, the link is in the bio. Come on over to YouTube. That is where the call-in show is and the live chat as well. So if you would like an upgraded experience from that, but like I said, I'm just throwing it out there. We got the last segment of the show to kill. I'll keep talking football, but the number to call is 260-255-4069. If you want to call, go ahead and give us a ring. Appreciate everybody on that, but that is kind of where we're at. Nothing too pressing here. We're just doing it. I think that, as we're moving forward through this, it's that was a big day. That is kind of where we're at, but appreciate everybody watching. Also, if you're watching on Twitter, come on over to YouTube. That helps us more than anything, watching on YouTube. But yeah, I think the defensive stats in the SEC are very fascinating. That is kind of where we're at the moment as far as team stats defensively. Florida's defense has played relatively well, all things considering. Now we'll roll over to the offensive side of the ball. We'll look at the offensive leaders. And I bet Florida ranks amongst the lowest. Florida's only scored 81 points this year. So this is funny. When it comes to overall scoring, Florida is not even the bottom when it comes to overall scoring on offense. The bottom, I'll just go the bottom 5. So total points scored this year, bottom 5, LSU, South Carolina, Texas, Florida, Kentucky. are the bottom 5 in scoring offenses in the SEC. Georgia is middle of the road. Vanderbilt has scored 60 more points this season than LSU. Alabama is up there. Tennessee is the highest scoring SEC. What's wrong with Travis Kelce? I don't know. I who knows? Probably who knows what's wrong with Travis Kelce? I think he has a lot of money. I think he's all right. Just some of the random questions I get on TikTok are just fascinating. But yeah, there's that. Appreciate everybody. Also, the phone lines are open. Somebody saying bad things on TikTok, but also the phone lines are open. The number to call 260-255-4069 if you want to call, get your phone call in. We're going to leave the phone lines open for about another 15 minutes or so. But yeah, I think that when it comes to the ground attack, Missouri is ground and pounding that thing. Missouri's leading all of the SEC in their rushing attack. Arkansas second, Auburn third, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Georgia. Pretty much the worst offense in the SEC right now is, some people would say it's Florida, but I'm going to go out on a limb. The numbers tell me that it's South Carolina because they can't throw it or run it. They've ran the ball for 300 yards in 3 games when Missouri's rushed it for almost 900. I get it. The opponents are different, but one of the bigger things is that they really struggled with, South Carolina really struggled with what is it? Virginia Tech. They fired their coach. Do you think LSU should be number 2 in the rankings? No, I don't. I don't think LSU should be 2 because I think LSU is bad on offense. That's why Brian Kelly got pissed about that question. But I also think that Penn State is bad on offense because they haven't looked like world beaters either. Pretty much everybody that had a returning quarterback that was supposed to be quote unquote good this year hasn't been. Penn State looked pedestrian on offense. LSU's horrendous on third down. Miami looks better than all of them. Rumors about Nussmeier was injured. I don't know if Nussmeier's injured. I haven't watched him close enough. Where is UGA? Are you talking about on the graphic? They got like UGA like 4th or 7th or 8th or something like that. I think, yeah, 6th. They got them playing Texas Tech on that bracket, but just very fascinating. Also, we'll leave the phone lines open for a little bit longer. The number to call is 260-255-4069 is the number to call before we get out of here for the evening. LSU's running back is good too. Well, I just looked at stats that say otherwise. As a freshman, we'll go look at this. Uh-oh. As a freshman. So he's ran for 196 yards. So Tennessee has 2 running backs that are ahead of him. He is 13th out of 16 teams in the SEC. Kentucky has 2 players ahead of him. Tennessee has 2 players ahead of him. Missouri has 2 players ahead of him. Maybe LSU's mediocre on offense. FSU, baby. Yeah, well, I'm just saying LSU LSU has kept winning. That's one thing that they've done. They've kept winning, but they've been bad on offense. Go look at the team stats. Pull up the team stats. They are the lowest scoring team in the SEC. That's a fact. There's no way around that. They are the lowest score. Hold on. Their defense has been helping them to win a lot. Yeah, that's the problem. Hook them. That's funny. But when we're talking about LSU here, we'll just go to yards. LSU ranks second to last above South Carolina in yards. We'll just go to passing. LSU's in the bottom 8 in passing. Let's go to rushing. LSU is second to last in rushing and in total offense, and they're mediocre in the passing game. And we'll just talk about average points per game. LSU ranks dead last at 20 even. So there's that. I'll throw it out there one last time. In 8 minutes, we're gonna close the phone lines down. Like I said, the number 260-255-4069 is the number to call if you want to get your opinion in. Get it in now. But when you go to the defensive side of the ball, you think they need a better QB? No, I don't think it's that they need a better QB. I don't think it's Nussmeier's the problem. I think it's the play calling. Vanderbilt winning the Natty? Well, maybe. I don't know. Hell, anything's possible. But in average yards per game, LSU ranks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're 7th in total defense. What are they against the pass? Southeastern Conference, Southeastern West Idaho, all the way. Okay. Very interesting endeavor there. LSU's middle of the pack in pass. They're number 1 in rush defense. And they're number 2 in points. So that does wonders for your football team. I guess we can roll down the AP rankings. Are the Irish cooked for the rest of the season? Notre Dame's gonna go out there and they're gonna beat Purdue. Notre Dame's biggest problem is that they have to go to Fayetteville at noon the following week, and it's gonna be hot. So if Notre Dame loses to Arkansas, it's over. Period. It's over. Go Dogs. Appreciate you. But yeah, so there's that. But a team that's going to make a run here. It'll be really tough because Notre Dame fell 16 spots. I think Utah is poised to do something big this year. I think the Utes also have. I think Utah's got something big to show, and I think they're going to go out there. And I think that Dampier is going to have a heck of a game against Texas Tech. We'll see what Texas Tech looks like as far as this goes. Yikes. That's very interesting. But I like Utah in that game straight up at Rice Eccles. They're at home. Thoughts on Tulane? I think Tulane has the best quarterback in the G5. How do you feel about Mississippi State so far this year? I think State looks better. They're improved. They're better on defense. I always think they were going to be good on offense. I think Mississippi State is better than what they were. Tulane, I think Tulane's probably the best group of 5 team out there. I'm not in on the Boise stuff. I think Boise State is not very good. They're not what they were last year. No Genty. I think that hurts. I think that hurts Boise State big time. So there's that. Appreciate the follow. But that's just kind of where that's at. There's where we are. It's hard to get behind. What would help Jeff Levy a lot this year is for him to win the Egg Bowl. If Levy wins the Egg Bowl, that would be interesting. Do you think Oregon is better than any SEC team right now? Yes, I think Oregon, Ole Miss, or Tulane. It just depends. I think Tulane covers the number, but I also am going to go out on a limb. I don't think that Austin Simmons is going to be 100% either. That's just my opinion. Do I think Oregon is? It would depend upon if it was a neutral site game. That's just kind of what I would base it on. But there's just some of that goes into it. But I definitely think Tulane covers that number because I think it was at. Let me see. Let's see what that was at. Where are you? Oregon's also going to kill Oregon State, I think. Should Ohio State be first in the rankings? Yes. I agree. The Buckeye, until they lose. Ohio State hasn't lost since November of last year. And if go look at the teams that they've beat in their last 6 matchups. They beat Tennessee, they beat Oregon, and they blew Tennessee out. They blew Oregon out. They beat Texas. They beat Notre Dame. Then they beat Texas again. I mean, they kind of struggled with Ohio, but the last, I don't know, 5-6 matchups that Ohio State's played has been top 5 matchups. So there's that. It is what it is. So Ole Miss is getting 13.5 for this. For this game, they are getting Tulane. It's went up to 13.5. I snagged it at 12, but that's interesting. It moved a whole point. I don't know how healthy Austin Simmons is. Is Texas University worse without Quinn Ewers? I don't know, because I think the last couple of weeks, or the last, I don't know, couple of months, I don't think Texas has had a healthy quarterback. I really don't. Because Ewers last year had a oblique torn off the bone during the playoffs. And Arch looks like he's dealing with some type of shoulder pain. So there's that. Cal will play Miami for the ACC title, calling it. Okay, then. All right, so there's that. We're gonna close up shop for the evening. Appreciate everybody who had joined tonight. We were going to leave the phone lines open a little bit longer, but looks like everybody's pretty busy right now. I'll throw it out there one last time, 260-255-4069. If you want to call now. The number is at the bottom on the ticker. When's the next stream? Tomorrow. The next stream is tomorrow. Most likely probably at 7:30. That is when the next stream is, unless you want to get up early. Whenever I do the NFL show is not that serious. It's just something that I do in the mornings, but the evening stream is the main ticket. That is, the phone lines are open, but that is that. And then we do the live watch parties on Saturdays. We are going to start that off with Oklahoma. We're going to appreciate the follow. We're going to start with Oklahoma, Auburn, and then we are going to end it with Florida, Miami. So there's that. We'll be doing all kinds of stuff on Saturday and keeping it real. Yeah, this is just very fascinating. This is just I'm not going to say it out loud, but a rough viewing night for sports because there's nothing on. Got to wait until October for Conference USA during the week. Cannot wait for that. So have a good night, man. Thanks for answering all my questions. Yep, you too, man. Appreciate everybody on the TikTok. We will see you guys later. Do I have OU winning? I don't know. You'll have to tune in Saturday to see what I have on because I got gear from both teams. So there's that. Appreciate you guys. We are going to end the stream now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Later, TikTok. No. All right, YouTube. We'll see you guys later. Appreciate everybody for stream or jumping on the stream. We're gonna hang out tomorrow. We'll see you guys then.